Welcome back. NANSO President Dorthea Nangolo joins us to discuss two pivotal initiatives making waves in the education sector. The EduRun, organized in collaboration with GirlUp Namibia, aims to promote quality and accessible higher education by raising funds and awareness through the power of running. We'll explore how this initiative plans to create a tangible impact on educational opportunities across Namibia. Additionally, we will also shed light on the Examination Readiness Campaign. Dorthea, good evening and welcome.
Good evening. Thank you so much for having me.
Thank you for being here. Provide more details for us to start with about the EduRun Marathon and, of course, what inspired NANSO and GirlUp Namibia to collaborate around this.
Thank you very much. So the EduRun Marathon is an annual marathon that NANSO is dedicated to hosting every year, primarily aimed at raising funds and raising awareness on educational issues of education. And this year we are partnering with GirlUp Namibia primarily because it's a youth-led organization that focuses on empowering the girl child. And part of that empowerment is ensuring that the girl child has access to quality education. And that's where our mandates align. So we then decided to partner up with GirlUp Namibia. So with the EduRun Marathon, like I said, it's an annual marathon where we bring together all our stakeholders and we boldly make and pronounce ourselves and send out a statement about our demands in terms of tertiary education in the country.
And of course, the funds that proceed from this EduRun Marathon will be used to improve higher education in Namibia. So talk to us about that.
All right. So NANSO NANSO is planning on carrying out what we call the Fund a Student campaign. With the Fund a Student campaign, we aim to deal with issues such as registration, issues such as accommodation. So we have a revolving fund that assists students that may be in need. So with that, it requires a lot of fundraising activities. It requires a lot of funding for such a program of such a nature. So we then thought, why not have the EduRun Marathon as part of the programs that we can also raise funds towards the Fund a Student campaign, which really is aimed at supporting our students that are in need.
Fantastic. The Education Readiness Campaign is also another significant initiative. Share some insight on the key findings that you had from your regional visits that I understand you've conducted.
So NANSO carried out, or we launched our Examination Readiness Campaign in the Otjozondjupa region, covering Otjozondjupa, Oshana, Ohangwena, Oshikoto and Omsati region, basically the O regions, where we assessed the state of the school and some of the most critical issues that we found in the school, because remember, one of the reasons for carrying out this initiative in the first place is to try and preempt the challenges in the schools so that we're able to come up with tailored solutions before examinations, and also try to see how these challenges affect the overall outcome of examination. As NANSO, we don't want to be an organization that reacts when the results are out, but we must be able to go to the schools and see what is the true state of our schools. And the biggest issue now is a lack of teaching and learning materials, where we have science students who are expected to write chemistry and practicals who don't have the necessary scientific equipment. We have learners who are expected to write computer science, for instance. They don't have computers at their schools. And overall, the state of schools, they are dilapidated and in terrible condition. But beyond these are issues that we've been singing. It's a song that we've been singing over and over as NANSO from the beginning of the year. But beyond that, we also then introspected to say, what are other issues that perhaps affect performance? And the issues that we've identified is issues of discipline, alcohol and substance abuse within our schools. And it's also then for us to see how we can support our learners in that aspect and help them, prepare them better and give them the necessary support to be able to still thrive with the examinations that are upcoming.
You said that one of the reasons for these regional visitations is obviously to assess the critical issues and the challenges and then provide tailor-made solutions for this. So what are some of the solutions that you've come up with that you seek to implement around the issues you found?
All right, with issues, like I've mentioned, issues of lack of materials, for instance, where you have a school in a particular region that does not have a functional laboratory. The tailored solutions that we are able to come up with was with the support of the Office of the Governors and the directors, is to see how we can transport those learners from the school that doesn't have a functional laboratory for them to still do their practicals and practice at the nearby school that is fully equipped, that is resourced. But beyond that, it's also very specific solutions, such as solutions around water. We've been to schools that don't have access to clean water. Is then around installing perhaps water tanks at the schools, and then bringing clean water from the nearby schools. Of course, these are very temporary solutions, but we felt that it's important to still set up very simple solutions that address the issue now, looking at then the long term as well. Because right now we are focusing on how do we ensure that the Namibian child is supported, they're equipped for the upcoming examinations. We are not trying to fix the entire system right now. It's to focus on the pressing and the immediate issues that we can address before us.
On that note, how does NANSO plan to measure the effectiveness of their initiatives?
So with our school readiness assessment campaigns, we measure the effectiveness by constantly having a relationship and communication with the directorate at the regional level, checking in as to the progress of some of the solutions we've presented to them as well, and also through the ministry as well. But also beyond that, our biggest measure is the outcomes of the national examinations, seeing that our effort in these regions and also our predictions in these regions, we're able to see the outcome of our effort and our work now when the national examination results are out. So I think in a nutshell, that is how we measure the performance at schools, but also how we measure whether these projects and programs are even impactful in the first place.
Just one quick step back, Dorthea. You mentioned, of course, one of the challenges was alcohol abuse within some of the schools. What's the plan in terms of, assisting or mitigating this?
That's a very tricky one. In terms of alcohol and substance abuse and also discipline, very critical issues. When we sat with the parents in the regions as well and teachers, we felt that these issues are also as a result of very little support from parents at home and also the community's involvement. When the community is not actively involved in ensuring that the Namibian child is not exposed to alcohol and drugs and other substances. We have situations where in the regions where a child is sitting at the bar and nobody is saying anything, nobody is addressing this thing. So it's really about parental support. It's about the community's involvement as well, but more so speaking to the learners themselves and helping them understand the importance of academic excellence and the harm that alcohol and substance abuse can bring to them. That is really what we can do at this point right now.
Yeah. On that note of support that you mentioned, in what ways can the public support the EduRun initiative as well as the Examination Readiness Campaign to maximize, of course, its impact?
With the EduRun initiative, we really call on the public to support us, to come and participate on Saturday and to take part in the marathon, but also after the marathon to be willing to pledge, to contribute towards our fight and towards education, and of course towards the Fund a Student campaign. And in terms of our Examination Readiness Campaign, is really to call on to the schools, the parents as well when we go to the regions, because right now we've only visited 5 regions, so we are still going on to the rest of the 9 regions. So it's really support and willingness to come to the table, sit with us and engage us, and also be willing to implement some of the solutions that we may bring to the table. Because remember, we are bringing tailored solutions for each region. Oshana's solution will be very different from Kara's region solutions. Yes.
Saturday, the run's happening where, when, what time?
For Saturday, our EduRun Marathon will start at 7 a.m. in the morning. The starting point is Independence Stadium. That is where we'll all gather and then run for 5 kilometers. So we're very excited. We've also decided to just keep it to 5 because we don't have the capacity to go beyond that. But we're very excited and we're hoping that the public can come join us this Saturday.
Well, I wish you all the best.
Thank you.
Thank you so much for joining us this evening.
All right.
Daily Roundup continues after this. Stay with us.